Welcome back, familia, to Northside LDN, caramba. Make sure you like and subscribe as you're coming in. And today, we've got a very good rival show. Deji is on his way. I already told him, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Yeah? You lot got touched again. Yeah? And you know he has to show up. But to be fair to him, Deji, the Spurs fan, is on his way. He is traveling today from Manchester. But listen, let's kick it off with Arsenal. Obviously, I woke up from a mad hangover after 2 birthdays on the weekend, but it was the best wake up I've ever. One of the best wake ups I've ever had. I woke up 1-0 to the Arsenal. Nothing better than that. Listen, before we get into it, we got my main man Fuad and we got Diesel as well in the building. People, make sure you like and subscribe to both channels. Diesel, how's it going, bro?
Yeah, Mash, listen, I'm happy at the moment. I can't lie. I said to you two just now off camera that this is the one stream I think Fuad may just cook us, bruv. But yeah, but yeah, listen. Look, all joking aside, I mean, you can't argue. Like it's what we've been moaning for and what we've been crying out for at the moment, at this present moment in time. We're getting. I did a stream Sunday night, in lieu of the Arsenal-Chelsea game. And, yeah, I think I was a little bit emotional because I can't stand Chelsea. And to see us dominate a game like that, the scoreline did not flatter us one little bit. You look at the score and you think, 1-0, did we just nick it? Anyone who watched that game will know. No, 1-0 is just that scoreline was criminal. It was just total domination from start to finish. I've got a couple of Chelsea fans who regularly are in my chat room, and they even had to hold their hands up and say, look, you had us from start to finish. You did us. So when it's coming from a Chelsea fan saying that, then that's how you know. But other than that, Northside, always a pleasure coming on, bro. Come on, I love you, man.
Listen, come on. Right now, me and Diesel are in the mud. Right now, me and Diesel, the views are down. We don't have money. We can't even buy Snickers. We can't even go Sam's, get a 2 for 2 at the chicken shop. Right now, Bossman's we got to be picking it up. Tick me. You know what I mean? It's tick me back.
I was just about to say that to you. I'm going to the Bossman saying, listen, this time next month I will have the money, bro. I promise you. Yeah, £3.50. Come on, sponsor me. Come on.
Right now, it's 2008 credit crunch at us. But listen, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. At the end of the day, we only moaned because right now, what we moaned for, we're getting. And look, the whole fan base is happy. So we were right anyway. That's how I'm going to say it. Listen, Fuad, this is your moment, bro. Look at you. You know what I mean? DJ Khaled, another one, another win, another.
He's sitting there thinking, right, which one do I go for first? Him or him? Like, I'll toss a coin up.
Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0.
Nah, the truth is, bro, it's good. Like, to be honest with you, it's good to see the fan base happy again anyway. That's the main thing. That's what it's about, isn't it? And the thing is, every Arsenal fan wanted Arsenal to be where they are now. But we all knew it was going to take time, but I never knew it would take. Do you know what? When we went to that Chelsea game, it's like they matured in that game. They went in there and they just thought, you know what? We're not feeling the pressure. Because last year, it affected us big time. Who would have thought Man City taking the top spot and Arsenal going to Stamford Bridge and just controlling the game, even though we should have scored more goals, and going back on the top of the table. If I would have told you that 3 months ago, you and Diesel would have said, you're crazy, you're off your head. Yeah. But, do you know what, bro? I think a lot of Arsenal, even the Arteta in fans are like, yo, what's going on here, bro? I was expecting second, top 4, but this is something else, bro. So, yeah, bro, you just got to enjoy it, innit? Like, unite the fan base. It's not about, like I said, like I keep saying to people, it ain't about Arteta and Arteta. Just get behind the team. We're all one. Let's get behind Arsenal. Forget the bantering because we're top of the table. There's no other banter. We could talk about stuff like we need to strengthen in January. I think I think every Arsenal fan base will agree to that. There's not one Arsenal fan base who'll come out and say we don't need players in January. I think we need but I don't think I think we need my opinion is get a striker, another defensive mid to cover Partey, and I wouldn't mind having another winger. I don't know about anyone else, but they're my 3 priorities. Defense was solid.
What do you reckon? What do you reckon we need in January to actually put in a title challenge up until May?
Me, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was thinking about this the other day, and I think I said this on the stream on Sunday, right? If you'd have asked me this a couple of months ago, one of the first positions I would have said was right back. And I've got to say, I'm not a lover of Ben White, but he's starting to shut me up. I'm now looking at it, and I'm thinking to myself, bear in mind, and I'm a massive believer in that saying, credit where credit's due. You know, and this is a position this guy's playing in which is alien to him, let's be honest. And he doesn't look out of place, right? I'm now looking at it thinking, going forward, I mean, me personally, you know, I want a top class right back. I do. But there's a difference now. If they don't address that in January, I'm cool with that. But obviously in the summer, it's a different story, right? Whereas before I would have said, no, January, that's got to be one of the, you know, the primary positions. For me, I think the midfield is what requires the most surgery, right? We need a striker, but I don't think they're going to get one because I personally believe that they are behind Eddie and Nketiah. There's no way they're just going to give him a contract like that and then several months later they're going to go out and get another striker. I just can't see that happening. So the way they look at it is, yeah, we're okay up front. I think for me, it's the midfield. All of a sudden, I've said, look, you know, Arsenal need to get 2 or 3 quality players, even if it's loan, right? I know, obviously, it's, you know, you can't do what you really want to do in January. It's very hard. The summer window is the one where we properly go, you know, we go hell for leather. But I said on Sunday, my thing now is if they don't address anything, if they don't buy anyone in this January transfer window, that tells me everything I need to know about the club's ambition, because that tells me they simply have none. Not only that, they haven't learned their lesson from last season, because that was what cost us top 4, in my opinion. So anyhow they don't address or get anyone in, then that my high will just go to an immediate low with this club. And that just tells me everything I need to know. Arteta was getting everything he wanted when he was struggling, right? This man at the moment is walking on water. So there is no way. His stock is at such a high. You're telling me he can't walk into Edu's office and demand 2 or 3 players? Of course he can. He was demanding that when he was struggling, right? Now you're telling me he can't do that when he's you know, his stock's high as it is. So it's a collective for me. He came out last week, I believe, and he actually addressed the fact that Arsenal do need to, you know, all this rubbish about, oh, you know, we'll only enter the market for the right player. I know why they say that. It's a politician's answer. But Mikel's not stupid. He knows we need, you know, we're 1 injury away from our season possibly falling away, right? So they've got to get 2 or 3 in, man. And if they do that, then I'd look at it and think, do you know what? Yes, now I can see they mean business. But if they don't, then yeah, watch all the streams that we do. Do you know what I mean? So
listen, it's mad right now. Look, Diesel, me and you right now, to get the views up right now, we need to start making Arteta in trust the process banners.
Now, do you know what Diesel was saying? Do you know, you said something really, really important there, because as an Arsenal fan, when you said about ambition, I agree with you, because Mikel Arteta have come out and said, like he said, we need players. Like he's addressed that already. So now he's letting the fan base, if it's not coming from me, it'd be Edu and the board, because when people say he's on the transfer what's it called, committee, yeah, he is. Yeah. But his job is to do this. His committee's job is to write a note down and say, use the players I want. And he walks out the room. That's all their job. That's why he's on the committee. He ain't on a committee. He doesn't make the decisions he wants. He gives the list, and that's down to Edu and Vina and the directors to go and get them players, not him. So he's come out and said it already. We need to adjust the squad. We need to make some signings in January. Not in them words, but you know, at the end of the day, just the good thing about it is the Cronkies were not seen last year, but probably Josh Kroenke is actually in London now. So there's got to be something said for January. Like for him to come over here, there's Arteta demanding him to come. Because, bro, there'd be a lot of teams going in, a lot of teams watching this manager now thinking, look what he's doing at Arsenal.
Do you know what? If you have to look at it like this, right? Arteta, you know, no doubt he's very ambitious. He's young. There is nothing more let's be honest, right? Arteta's had a lot of stick, from like myself, Northside. There's still a lot of fans who don't think he's the guy. At this present moment in time, as much as I credit him for what he's doing at the moment, I'm still. Do I look at him and think that's the man who's going to take us to a title? Right? There's still a big part of me that thinks he's winging this. I do. He stumbles upon formulas and he goes with it. There is a part of me that still thinks he's winging it, and I still deem him a very, very lucky manager. That being said, you can't discredit what he's doing, right? These boys are obviously playing for him. If I was Mikel, I'd be looking at it thinking, do you know what? If I can get strengthened in January and win the league, or at the very least, come second and stay in that challenge with, Man City until the last month or so, then I'm going to shut up a lot of people. And I think for me, I'm a man I'm all about revenge. Say what you want about me now, but just watch. For me, it's all about it's the long con, right? So say what you want now, but there's a battle and there's a war. And I think if he can take us to the promised land or as close to it as possible, that's Mikel's little vindication to turn around to all of us guys and say, yeah, what you saying now about me? It's not just the league, the Europa League. I think we can win that. So if he strengthens in January, as far as I'm concerned, with the way we're playing now and the team cohesion, because I'm loving the fact that he's not tinkering with the team. We more or less know what the lineup is week in, week out now. That brings with it, that team harmony, that cohesion, right? And let's be honest, we've been very lucky with injuries this season so far. We've not had anything major. If we carry on like this in a season where everyone's imploding, and no one, it reminds me of the Leicester season when they won it. Every team had their issues. I look at now, Chelsea, Man United. You know what I'm saying? There's Man City, the only ones up there. Liverpool, I mean, what an indifferent season, they're having. And I'm looking at it thinking, take advantage of this Arsenal. This is the one season.
I agree.
Because these teams will come back at some point. While they're in disarray, take advantage. Just go about your business on the quiet. Spurs another one. You don't know what Spurs you're going to get, right? So I look at that and think, put yourself in the best position possible. 2 or 3 players in January, and really go for it. Hit it. If you know what I mean. So that's what. But if they don't, I mean, it's not often we're in a position like this. So on the one occasion where we are, go hell for leather. Blimey. I mean, come on.
I look at it like this. See, if I agree with you 100%, if we win this league title, see Diesel, I look at it like this. If we win this league title, do you know next year they'll compete again because they're young. They've done it. They're gonna be like, we could do this again. It's not like like an old James Milner in the middle of it. You got a young midfield. I know Partey's a bit older, but you got and Xhaka's a bit older. But it's the players like Martinelli, Saka, all the back four are young. Well, the oldest is 24, Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
The keeper, do you get me? The keeper. So you're looking at it thinking, we only got to teach more players in the summer. Gabriel Jesus, 25. And then we could challenge again because I don't think this team will drop off like Leicester. They're young. They'd be like,
that's what I'm saying. They're young and hungry. This is a team we could potentially have for the next 5-6 years, right?
Yes.
All we've got to do, it's not like we have an aging team. We've probably got the youngest team in the league. That bodes well for us. All we need is sprinkle that little bit of experience in there, I'd say. Like we don't need loads. What we do need is depth. You know what I'm saying? I look at I see Zinchenko coming off and Tierney coming on. I'm looking at thinking that's more or less a like for like. I like that. That's fine. I'm not worried. Partey goes off, El Neni comes on. I'm like, oh my god, there's such a gulf in. Do you get what I mean? So I think it's just that,
and that's why ultimately we're not wrong, bro. Because the fact is, as good as everything's going, and I'm gonna kick off with all the positives because there are loads of positives to take. The fact that people that do really love this manager and do think he's the be-all and end-all, even they are saying in January, we need to strengthen to continue. Yeah. Why? Because even they can see that even though things are going very well, the fact is when we put the rotation players, like when we was using a lot of the bench players in the Europa League, look at the levels dropping off then against opposition that wouldn't survive in the Premier League. Bodo Glimt wouldn't survive in the Premier League, neither would Zurich, neither would PSV. Do you know what I mean? So both things can be right. We can praise how good things are. Ben White against Chelsea had a shot on target. He's overlapping Saka, which is something that I wanted to see from him. And I saw that development. I saw Gabriel Jesus having loads of chances. Xhaka, another player that I don't rate, How many chances, how many times has he been given chances this season and has he come up with the goods? Granit Xhaka is somebody that I don't necessarily rate, but this season he's performed really, really well.
Oh,
Him and
brilliant.
Ben White I was onto all the time, and this is the thing, and this is one thing I'll say to Fuad. Fans like myself and Diesel, we don't mind being proven wrong, but we need to see something to change our mind. We can't just change our mind blindly. When Xhaka gives us these performances, we can then get behind him. When Ben White plays like this, then we can get behind him. Do you know what I mean? We need to also see something from the players for us to believe. It can't just be, trust the process when they're not performing. This season, they really are playing like a cohesive team. But when we're looking at the title challenge, with the title race, player for player, we're still inferior to Man City. And as a team, they are more cohesive because they've been as a team and as a squad for longer, and they have a better manager. So they do have still certain advantages. They've got a bench that they could play their bench for most of the season, and you'd be hard to press to find someone to think that they still can't win the league.
Yeah.
That's how good their bench is. When we can't say the same. So both things can be real. Gabriel Jesus, so many chances, to put the game 2-3, 4-0. And, he's got to do a little bit better when it comes to the finishing. He's had so many games now. What's it, 5-6 games he's not scoring?
Yeah.
Ultimately, we bought you to score goals. It's great with the work rate, but if we wanted that, then we might as well have stuck with Lacazette. Does that mean I think Gabriel Jesus is trash? No. I expected this of Gabriel Jesus because this has been his Premier League record. 14 goals in a league season, but we need a bit more. And in January, let's go get an out-and-out striker that can also kill off a team. Let's go and get, like Diesel say, we need some more players to help Saka and Martinelli because we will burn them out. Last season, they got burnt out and we had no European football. We are doing so well. And if we don't capitalize on this, it will show that the project is more about qualifying for Champions League, getting the money, and then jobs done. It's not about competing. And I don't want to hear the excuse of we're ahead of schedule. If you're ahead of schedule, then back the guy. Because once again, I agree with you.
Yeah, back the guy. Yeah.
If you backed him when he was 8th, then 5th, why would you not back him when he's first?
But even like Diesel hit on the nail just earlier on. He said, you know, it'll come from him. Like it comes from the board upstairs because Mikel Arteta is not stupid, bro, to turn around and say, "Oh, listen, I don't want no players. I think this team can win." He knows because you already seen the drop of class. Like when Alnani was out, Lukonga was in the middle, and you already seen Lukonga in the middle. Man United just cut through like straight spreads. But you know, if you had Alnani's not bad as Alnani could do it in some games, but you still need that one like Thomas Partey, another top class defensive. Because Alnani, you could Alnani last year, you can rely on him in games, but he can't do it every week. He needs a rest. He's getting old. And he plays in every cup game. And now he's more of a cup game. And when you need him to step up, he'll step up. Like 3-4 games, he could do it. Then bring someone else in.
No, I want to say this because Monts hasn't got that long. Monts hasn't got that long, and he has to go. Monts, big up for coming on the channel. Let's talk about your new ownership. The rumors about Arabs taking over Liverpool. How are you feeling about that, bro?
I'm feeling like money.
Caramba.
What can I say, man? Price of the brick went up. Feeling like money. See, I want one of those. Luckily for me, I wasn't one of those guys screaming, "Do it by the book." You know, it's not all about money. We're killing the game. How about this? When you guys think the money's killing the game, how about you start thinking about everything around the world? Money makes the world go around, people, not just in football. Money talks. Like it or hate it.
Money shouts.
Either get with it or there's the door. Because at the end of the day, when you got this, at least you have the opportunity to fail or succeed. When you don't have this, you can get there, but then all of a sudden it's not sustainable. But then you have your moral high horse to survive on. Well, I know what would you rather survive on? Moral high horse or at least funds and investment? I know which one I'm picking. Do you know what I'm saying? So personally, when you look at certain fan bases, you know, if you look at even Newcastle and Man City and what's happened to them, would I say I'd want us to copy that exact model? That's another conversation. But we've already shown that we can get to a certain position with an ownership who goes You could say by the book, by the net spend, the moral way, if you want to say the Liverpool way, but people are so quick to say, oh, how could you expect FSG to keep up with the likes of Man City? It's impossible. Even Klopp said it. It's impossible. How about we keep up with Everton? Because they spend more than us. How about you keep up with Villa? Because they spent more than us. How about you keep up with Nottingham Forest? Because they spent more than us.
We spend more than you know.
Yeah, it's not about Manchester City. It's just about even competing financially with the noisy neighbours, the guys who shouldn't even sit at the same table with us. I don't think that's too much to ask for. I don't think it's a reason to call me a fake fan, and I don't think it's a reason to be looked down upon by this moral high ground, that's a lot of Liverpool fans seem to live by. Listen, we've had the success. Do you know what I mean? Now we've seen that it's not sustainable. Do what it needs to be done for it to be sustainable. That's all it is. That's the reason why we're not at the top no more, because we ain't ruthless enough.
If they're not going to stop going to games, if they're not going to stop supporting Liverpool, then shut up. Because it's all noise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I like this guy. You know what it is? And what it is, funny if you said that, because I was just speaking to Northside before we went live, before Diesel jumped on. And I said there's some Liverpool fans, like they're taking them on, they put them on Sky Sports on our overlap show, trying to represent the Liverpool fans, saying our fan base won't be happy with Arabonas. But bro, do you know in January, Newcastle took over by Arab owners. Within a year, look where they are. Look where you are, look where they are. And even though when you won the title, like no disrespect, I know you won the league, but you won it with no one in the stadium. So all them fans who were there crying and moaning about the Arab owners, Man City, their fan base have seen them come out with their trophy and show it to them. Liverpool fans won the title, you're all in your houses watching it. You're not going to compete with Man City unless you get Arab owners, and I think if you do get Arab owners, the ones who are linked to you, bro, they got money, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm feeling like
Don't listen to all our people. Oh, we want to play by the book. You know what? Arsenal play by the book. Look what happened to us.
This is what I'm saying. Like, anyone who plays by the book can only go so far. As I said, I stick by this with Liverpool. The same philosophy you use to get to the top is not the same philosophy you use to stay at the top. You know what I mean? And and unfortunately, when you play by the book, that philosophy to stay at the top, you better have bought some robots, because they're gonna run out one day. They're gonna get tired one day. Henderson's legs are gone. Do you know what I'm saying? Thiago's legs are going. Fabinho looks like he's 35. He's 28.
I think, if I'm honest, Mods, I think that's nice to meet you, by the way, bro. I think what I've liked about Liverpool, me personally, it's my opinion, yeah. Liverpool, I like clubs who and Leicester were like this several years ago. Like that smart recruitment, right? You don't necessarily have to spend big bucks, but you get the right players, right? And I think Liverpool over the years, when you look at it, they've never really broken the bank. But what they have done is they've always got the smart recruitment. Your Van Dijk and your Alisson, big money buyers, of course. But then when you look at Robertson getting him from Hull when they got relegated, and I know a lot of Liverpool fans thought, "What? You bought him?" And then you look at now. It's gone from that. I think it's gone from that to you're not buying anyone. Mm-hmm. And I think when you won the title that year, and I think that summer you didn't get a single player.
No, we did, bro. We did. We bought Seth Vandenberg.
What was oh sorry, yeah, my mistake.
Yeah.
All right, you shut me up.
In January.
Do you know what I mean? But then I'm looking at that thinking,
shameless.
This is what I loved about Sir Alex Ferguson, because he always used to get 2 or 3 every summer just to keep these players. Let these players know. Listen, if for any reason you're slouching or you slack, I've just know this. I've got a guy right here who is itching to take your place. And I think when you look at Liverpool and when Salah was booming, Mane, all these players, I think a lot of Liverpool fans are blaming Klopp, but I don't know if it's Klopp or whether it's Klopp wants to get players in. It's them up there who I don't know. On the other hand, though, Klopp's sort of god in Liverpool. So, do you not think Klopp could demand it, or what do you think?
From my sources and from, I think, the general knowledge as well around the Liverpool community is that the bigger picture is FSG and the outgrowing of FSG. But this summer is on Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
This summer is on Jurgen Klopp. He wanted Darwin Núñez. That was something that he wanted to do. we originally wanted to go get a centre midfielder. Didn't get a centre midfielder. Klopp said when the players were all fit, we did not need a centre midfielder, and then came out and apologised for not going and getting a central midfielder. So this one is on Klopp, unfortunately. And it doesn't mean we hate him. It doesn't mean get him out. But what it means is this man is human. He makes mistakes. But the difference is when Liverpool make mistakes, we drop down the table, and the mistakes can be dire and catastrophic. It can be like a crisis. But when Man City make mistakes, they can buy themselves out of the mistake. They've in the background. It's all there's a backup and a backup. When we didn't get a midfielder, our backup was Curtis Jones.
But Mons, even though everything's been shaky so far this season for Liverpool, Agent Mons, you did your business. You did what we needed you to do. You beat Spurs. Deji right now, they're supposed to be on the chat right now, telling me he's in Manchester. He don't have Wi-Fi. I don't want to hear none of that pukadia, bro. You're not in Angola right now with my great grandma. Yeah, you know what I mean, in the village where there's no Wi-Fi, bro. You're in big Manchester. You're telling me you can't get online, bro. I don't want to hear it, bro. You knew the rival show was today. You know what, Mons? I want you to cook Spurs. What happened on that game? You're the only one that can enlighten us. What happened, bro? Because listen, you put the burners on.
I mean, a lot of Spurs fans have been telling me that they deserve to win the game. They got cheated. They dominated us. Listen. Let's listen. You know what I'm saying? Any Spurs fan, look me in my eyes and tell me you dominated that game. Look me in my eyes and tell me you don't. Look me in my eyes and tell me we didn't take our foot off the pedal after 2-0. Come on now. You played a back 10 with a striker, and you telling me you dominated the game just because you man saw a few diags. You man saw 1-2 diags and thought you dominated the game. You call us crossing inshallah. That's what you tried to call us that. That's you tried to call us that. Your manager scares me. He had 3 attacking players on the bench: Lucas Moura, Brian Hill, and Dejan Kulusevski. But he still went with Perisic on the wings, playing higher up. At the end of the day, there was attacking players on the bench. So I don't want to hear we had injuries or we had nothing. We've had injuries the whole season, by the way. Liverpool have had the worst injuries out of all the top 6 teams. And
Spurs said they got a bench now, bro. That's no excuse. They said they got bench. They said they got rotation.
Do you know what our bench is? Again, do you know who we brought off the bench? We brought off the bench a full English breakfast last game before the game that we lost. We brought off Curtis Jones. We brought on Curtis Jones. We brought on Jordan Henderson, and we brought on Harvey Elliott. And James Milner. Sorry, that is a full English breakfast, bro. Bangers and mash, G. We brought bangers and mash off the bench, cold, not even cooked, cold. Yeah, and you're telling me, you man are telling me that you have injuries. It's not my fault that when you came to your recruitment, you spent your 60 M's on Richarlison. You could have got 1-2 attackers to prevent something like this. But no, it's fine. You wanted to build for a project with a manager that doesn't even stay for more than 3 years. You have a ticking time bomb of a manager, but you think you can build for the future for a guy that does not stay at a club more than 3 seasons. Please enlighten me. Now, as for the scoreline in the game, you lot got Mo Salah again. So out of the last 21 games, we've won 14, we've drawn 6, and you've won 1. So again, we don't eat from the same table. You can do this, we're 3rd, you're 8th. As again, we could be 20th and we'll still beat them. We could be 20th and we'll still win, bro. Liverpool and Tottenham, it's not a matchup. We won that Champions League against Barcelona, not against you, man. I understand that one. And one more thing I want to tell you guys is that I don't know what this transitional football is, but you guys seem to have this thing where you guys deserve to be where you are. This is nothing great. Liverpool did not get out of second gear. You guys were just worse than us. And finally, Tottenham are being found out for their performances of recent because you lot have been getting bailed up by last-minute goals game after game, which is it's a nice thing. It's great for the fans. It's great for the neutrals, and it's great for you guys when you win. But when you actually reflect upon your performances, you can only do we don't care how we win. But when you don't win, you're gonna care how you don't win, big man. You're gonna care how you don't win games. You're gonna care about the performances. And at the end of the day, people like George, George. You remember all saying, yeah, we've lost to all the big teams. We haven't won against a single big team. But guess what? They've all been away from home. I welcome you guys to the lane. Hey guys, you welcome me to the lane.
Months. I told Deji that ain't here today. This guy's running. Deji, I know you're watching. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere.
He's watching,
yeah?
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you now, yeah, when you're telling me that this team is gonna win either Champions League or Premier League, caramba, you ain't winning nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're in a one-way ticket to the boys' holiday, bro, to get over this bomb of a team that you lot got. And I've told you this system, this playing this five at the back is because your individual defenders at the back are dead, bro. They're dead. Emerson is dead. When Liverpool caught out Dyer one-on-one, dead. Davies being caught one-on-one, dead. And that is why this manager has to play five at the back. And you remember when Chelsea, yeah, they could never play a back four. Why? Because individually, a couple of seasons ago, each defender individually wasn't good enough. So he's compensating for your backline being terrible. And all Tottenham want to talk about is their attack. They got Kulusevski and they got Richarlison and they got Harry Kane. Bro, your back is still leaking, bro. Your back is leaking, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you had a dodgy curry, bro. Please, man.
You man know this though. Tottenham have always been all breast, no back. You man know this.
Once before you guys, before you guys, gonna say to you, bro, don't worry, they're coming for you, bro. They're coming to Liverpool.
Hey,
they're coming for you, bro.
Hey, let it rain. I make it rain, bro.
They're coming for you, bro. They're coming.
You see the top friends that are gonna say they want it by the bit. I'll be wiping my eyes with them 50. I know, man. I miss it, man. I know, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes, Mods.
Yeah. But listen, man, I do have to shoot. I've got my stream to start. They're like harassing me to get started because I overstayed in it. But
bro.
Thank you for having me.
No, nice to meet you, Mods, man.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Agent Monts, you know.
Huh?
Agent Monts. Agent Monts, you know.
Man. But listen, you guys, drop me your socials and that. I can't follow you guys now because I've got to head off. But Northside, drop me the socials.
Yeah, cool, man.
Again, thank you guys for your square, man. Make sure you like and subscribe and get this man to 3K. He deserves it.
Come on, man. Love.
Awesome.
Come on, people. Make sure you subscribe to the Big Six Pants, man. Monts, man. Listen, he did his job, man. He had one job to do. He did his job. Diesel, what you make of Tottenham Liverpool game? Did you watch that game?
Yeah, I saw the highlights. I thought, do you know what? It's funny, right? Because I keep saying this. I love Antonio Conte, Northside. I don't care what anybody tells me, right? This is a winner. This is a top manager. And he's one of those managers who I always say, whatever team he's in charge of, if you follow that man, you're likely to win something, right? Now, you know, that's how I look at it. Does he play attractive, sexy football? No, right? He never has. You know, so these Spurs fans who are going on like they're shocked at the way that Tottenham are playing, well, this manager's always played that way, always. These are the same Spurs fans who were sort of upbeat and buzzing when he first got the job, and then they were sort of knocking us. Oh, look what we got. We got Conte, you got Miguel, right? And they're now shocked at the way he's playing. And I've always said, you know, you guys are third. You're probably, about 4 or 5 points behind us. You're third in the table, and you topped your group in the Champions League. Offer that to any Spurs fan at the start of the season. Well, let's be honest, they're all going to rip your arm off, right? So there is part of me thinking, well, I look at these Spurs fans and I think to myself, what do you want? What do you want? Attractive football. You was playing attractive football under Poch. You won nothing, right? So all this attractive football, entertaining, you know, it annoys me really. I'd rather win something, and if I've got to play ugly to do it, then I'll do it. Attractive football, you don't see that in the record books. Spurs lost. They didn't win nothing, but the football they played was so sexy. You don't see that in the record books. What you see is what clubs have won. Follow this man. He's a winner. You've had Mourinho, who I still love. I think he's a top manager. Conte, you get rid of him. There's not many above him. So you Spurs fans, like, just think about what you're saying here, because if this man walks, who else are you going to get who's better than this guy? There's not many better than Conte. He doesn't spend... And also, let's be honest. I mean, I'm not a lover of Spurs, obviously, you know, and neighbours and all that. But just from the mindset of these fans, this guy's been there 11 months. 11 months, right? In football terms, that's more or less 5-10 minutes. Give this man time. He's playing that way because he doesn't trust his players. Yes, I think what Spurs have done, they've strengthened their squad, but they've not necessarily strengthened their 11. I think that's where a lot of the Spurs fans are moaning about. But I'm not being funny. It's great playing attractive football. You can afford to talk like that, talk big like that when you've won stuff and you've got a trophy cabinet that's full of trophies. You haven't. right? So let's just be real here. You had all of that under Poch. You won nothing. You've now got a winner. And this isn't a guy who's won one or two things. This is a proven serial winner, right? Follow this man and he will take you to the promised land. If you don't and he leaves, who are you as Spurs fans expecting to get? Let's be honest. Who are you expecting to get? So, listen, I love to watch it. And I think what makes it worse for Spurs is that obviously we're up there and we're playing this attractive, slick brand of football. Let's be honest, that makes it worse, doesn't it? And let's be honest, that is a factor as well. But that's what I would say to any Spurs fan. Just be thankful for what you got, because I'm telling you that when Conte went to Spurs, I was a bit, you've gone Spurs. Okay, you more or less have your pick of any club you want. So really, I think they just need to realise what they've got in that man. And
with the money spent, bro. With the money spent, bro, they got to realise that when your only creative outlet is Kulusevski, that's problems, bro. You can't just have one creative outlet. And they're not, listen, I'm not going to just say only about Tottenham, because Chelsea have the same problem. Chelsea has no creative midfielder also. And if what's his name again? Reece James, if he's injured, the creative spark is gone. If Chilwell's out, because they get the creative spark from their fullbacks, their wing backs. And Liverpool as well this season. Most of the time Trent is their creative spark, and if he's not there, then they have no midfielder. So it just goes to show you can't just have fullbacks that are going to be, your creative spark in your team. You need a midfield. You need a creative midfield, deep line playmaker that's going to create chances for you. And Tottenham don't, and it's a shambles that. Kulusevski's out and they're struggling to create chances. As soon as Kulusevski came on in that game against Liverpool and they actually started going at Liverpool, Tottenham actually looked a little bit dangerous and looked like they were going to score. But it can't just be relied on just on one man, in my opinion. But, they're down there with Chelsea and Liverpool. This Liverpool team can still get got at. When Tottenham started pressing them, you could see it was squeaky bum time. I think Harry Kane hit the post on his first attempt. And you can see that this Liverpool team is still a bit rocky. But
they are. Yeah,
it's appalling with Tottenham, and I said this to Deji. I said, listen, for all the talent you got going forward, man, your defense is leaky, bro. And leaky defenses, we know as Arsenal fans. Do you remember when we had Senderos? You remember when we had Debuchy? You remember we had so many terrible or average defenders here at Arsenal, and we weren't able to win anything. Apart from FA Cups. I mean, to win major honours, you need a solid back line, and they don't have that. Arsenal, we are building that with Saliba, and you've got obviously Tierney, and you've got some players there. When you look at the Spurs back line, the only defender that I actually rate is Romero. Other than that, I don't really rate any of the defenders. Dyer's shit. Davies is shit. I've been telling these men are bums. Catch them on a one-on-one. You can sit them on their ass. Forward.
But again, so like you're saying that, right? Again, on the flip side, then, do you not look at it and think, my God, he's got them third at top of their Champions League table with a defence like that? And I think that's what Spurs fans are missing out on, right? You just said it, and I totally agree. Their defence, you look at it and you think, blimey, any team could get at that. Yeah, but then when you think he's got these guys third, and top of their Champions League table with that, Spurs fans are more on about, we've got Harry Kane and Son up front. Why are we playing like the way we are? But then you just like said it yourself. Conte's not stupid. This guy's a winner. He was a top player. He knows. And he's Italian. Italians pride themselves on defence. He looks at that defence and he knows, listen, I've got to play a certain way, because if I give the fans what they want and play this swashbuckling champagne football, that defence is nowhere near good enough. We would not be third right now. We'd be 6th or 7th. Yeah? And this is what I'm saying, this is what I love managers with. I always go on CVs, right? Because for me, this is a top manager, and I keep saying it. Everywhere he's been, he's won something. He deserves, if I was a Spurs fan, I'd look at it and think, this guy deserves another 1 or 2 transfer windows, just by who he is. We know he can build. He builds teams. He's never been a manager who spent, shed loads of money. He builds teams. He builds. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's done enough in his career to warrant another 1 or 2. We've got this guy. Yes, he's doing the business at the moment, but blimey, he's lucky to still be it. Let's be honest. Mikel's lucky to still be here. So Brendan Rodgers, everyone was calling for his head, and now Leicester have won, the last 4 in 5 games. Do you know what I'm saying? So it just goes to show, sometimes just stick with the manager a little, because, do you know what I'm saying? And I think fans nowadays, it's not so much what have you done for me, it's what are you doing for me right now. Yeah, and I think Conte, if Spurs sack him, cool. In fact, I encourage it, because if you sack him, you're only going down, you're not going up. Name me a better manager than Conte who's out there right now. So, that's how I look at it.
It's facts.
No,
What do you make of that?
I think, but do you know what? In a way, and they'd be lucky. Tottenham, they're fourth in the league now, aren't they? And they should be lucky, because the fact is, if Liverpool were performing a little bit and Chelsea performing a little bit, Jeremy, they won't be where they are now. I just think they look like, they've lost. How many games they've lost? They lost to Man United. They lost to Man United. They lost to Newcastle, and they lost to Liverpool. They've dropped 9 points, and they're still fourth. So they shouldn't be complaining about it, because you're not going to get any higher, and you're going to get any lower. If anything, you're going to get lower. I mean, you're not going to get any higher. The top two this season, for some reason, they're different pedigree. So and Newcastle are just on form. So, but with Conte, see, he is a good manager, but it's football. It's kind of football. I think, like, my opinion is, it's kind of like, I think it's going a bit out of date now. So I think that's my opinion. Like, I know he wins stuff with it, but I think it's kind of football now. Like 2-3 years ago, if we would have gone to Tottenham, I think he would have just most probably won the league with them if they would have bought players. But now, because Guardiola set the example on Klopp by playing an attacking football, fast football, driving thing, and you've won the league like that. What has Man City has done? They've got to the top, and they've done the hard thing and stay there by doing that kind of football. So that's why I think that kind of football will maybe win you a cup or something. But going for the league, you got to change it a little bit. You got to be more attacking.
But do you know what? Right, the only thing I'd push back on that, if Conte was just say theoretically, right, Conte was the manager of Man City, and he had him playing like that, and Man City turn around and sack him. You understand it. Man City have won stuff. Liverpool have won stuff. Spurs ain't won nothing.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
So like, you look at Spurs and you think, who are you to like cuss off this manager and criticise what he's doing? You ain't won nothing, right?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? You should be grateful you got a manager like this. I mean, I'm sorry, but yes, as fans, and this is where the game has gone for me, right? This is why I was having this battle with Terence, because fans nowadays, they want to get their money's worth, go to the game, watch 4 goals. Even if Arsenal lose 3-2, they can go there. Right, they've got their money's worth. They've seen 5 decent goals. Go to the pub, have a couple of pints, go back home, say to the missus, "Yeah, we lost today, but I saw 5 goals. I got my money's worth, babes. Yeah, brilliant." Yeah, that is where we are now. It's like that they want to go. It's like the theatre, right? If we win the league this season and we've done it scrappy, 1-0 wins and it's been boring, we've just. Do you know what? I'm taking that, because for me, it's all about the end result. That trophy. Fans nowadays, they'd rather lose, but lose entertaining, and watch entertaining football. That is where we are. And for me, that mindset is disgusting. I'm sorry, but I'm all about the end result, and that's trophies.
I think another thing is that I think Northside agree with this on this, and yourself. Do you know, like, when you go, like, obviously, where is he? You know, we were about Deji. And I've told him before, you winning the Carling Cup or the Worthington Cup, whatever the Cobra Cup, whatever you call it, whatever name is, Coca-Cola Cup, whatever that cup is.
Worthington, that's going back, boy.
Yeah, I know. I know. I do a Coca-Cola Cup and the Milky Bar Cup, whatever you want to call it. It's like, whatever you want to call it. If Tottenham wanted to, so I try to, and Northside agreed with me. Like Deji saying, no, we won't have it. If you won that cup, whatever they call it today, you should be happy by winning it, because you don't win stuff.
Yeah.
And another thing is, I explained to you, is it's a day out in Wembley for your fans. You don't get many days out. Do you get me? The only time you guys would go to Wembley when you rented the place for 6 months.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Beggars can't be choosers, right?
Choosers, yeah. I'll take the Europa League with a heartbeat. If we win the Europa this season, why? Because we're not good in Europe. We've got to be honest as Arsenal fans. We're not the best in Europe, but winning the Europa League, to me, you'd be like, yo, that's an achievement.
Yeah.
Just before we go into some of the comments and then wrap up the show, this is why, for me, it's going to be unforgivable if we don't do what we needed to do in January. Because let's be real, we're only doing in January what we should have done in the summer.
Yeah.
We were supposed to have a big summer. Clear plan was the headline. War chest is what all the headlines were reading. That's what they were shoving down. Don't worry that we didn't do nothing last January. Don't worry, we got a clear plan in the summer. Now they can redeem themselves in January. And big thanks due to Mikel Arteta really overachieving with this squad. Let's be real. Nobody, I don't care what your perspective is on this manager or this squad. Nobody expected us to be in this position. So he has overachieved so far. But ultimately, it's not only how you start the season, but it's also where you end it. So at the end of the day, for me, the fact that Man United are in a new process, Tottenham are Tottenham. You got Chelsea that need heavy surgery. You know what I mean? We've got all our rivals, barring Man City, in rebuilds.
Yeah.
In rebuild squads that still need heavy investment, squads that some of them, it's not the managers. Ten Hag, he hasn't got his players. Graham Potter, that's not his players, that's not his squad. You know what I mean? Conte, this ain't fully his squad, which is why he's playing this formation and playing the way he's playing. If we don't pounce on this, like Diesel said, is it going to be another season like the season that Leicester won it? I know that was a little bit easier because it was a Leicester, and if we did what we need to do that year, it's a lot easier to catch up to that Leicester than this Man City. But at the end of the day, you got to take advantage, and we haven't taken advantage in years gone when we could have had a title challenge, when we could have won the league. I want to see that now. I'm so happy waking up and seeing Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. You know what I mean? I'm so happy to see that, but can we sustain it? That is the only thing, and if we don't, I'm sorry, man. I don't.
But that's how this is what Diesel was saying. It's down to the owners. Like Diesel was saying, he hit it on the nail. Like he's hit it on the spot. It's down to the owners because it's down to them. Like last year, they got away with it, not buying no one in January. But this year, even Mikel is telling you we need to sit down and bring more players in. Mikel's come out and said it like we need more players. So the owners won't get away with it because if the fans go crazy about it, or the fans don't do nothing about it, then the owners are going to get away with it. But then, like you said, that's their ambition. We know they don't want to win no league titles. They just want to get top 4.
Do you know what, though? The only problem I've got, right, with what you said, though, the only problem is if Arsenal don't get anyone in, I don't want any Arsenal fan trying to tell me, well, it's not Mikel's fault. It's that no, because I can see where that narrative is. We are top of the league. If there was ever a time when he can walk in without knocking on that door, just walk in and say, look, Edu, this is what we need, right? I've got a list of 5 players, get me 2 or 3 of them, right? It's now. If he doesn't do that and Arsenal don't buy anyone, yes, I'm going to be ranting about Edu and Vinay. But don't think Mikel gets a pass. I'm sorry, no. He made it clear all 3 of them sit down and they discuss, right? Now, my old thing, he was getting things when he weren't doing the business. At the moment, this guy is an absolute god at this club. Let's be real. He's God, right? Play the Oracle. I'm sorry. You can't be in a position. Listen, Chelsea will come back at some point. Man United, Ten Hag, good manager. He will get them sorted at some point. While these clubs are in disarray, this could be our only chance of really going. Man City, right? I don't care how good they are. Every team has a blip at some point during the season, right? With Haaland being out, they've still won. They've crept over the line. Against Fulham, I thought they were poor. Who's to say Man City have a little blip where they go a few games? If that happens, that's where we need to pounce and capitalise. I'm now not sitting here thinking, oh, top 4. No, I'm going one better now thinking, do you know what? Go and win that. Go and win that. Why not? Why not? Who's to say we can't? We're not up there by accident. We're up there on merit. Go and do it. Go and do the business. Strengthen the team. Man City, anything could happen. Right? Haaland could get anything. Haaland could get injured. If that happens, be in a position where, right, we're going to pounce and we're going to come for you. That's how I look at it.
No, facts. What's your opinion on the Pratt and the Hat, Mr. DT, coming out of prison and trying to throw dirt on Robbie's name? I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Robbie wasn't the one that got DT in the mess that he got himself. Robbie wasn't the one stalking his girl. Robbie wasn't the one that had a restraining order. So at the end of the day, I don't really know the guy, but for me, this doesn't really make any sense. It wasn't Robbie that caused him to get in trouble with the police. He got in trouble with the police by himself. So it is what it is, bro. You know what I mean? You can't be doing that. You can't be behaving like that, whether it's your baby mother, whether you know the girl or not. You can't act like that. You know, no one should be stalking anyone or acting like that or making anyone feel like that. So it is what it is, bro. And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I don't know the guy. It's nothing personal. I don't even care. Like, you know, justice prevailed. He got his sentence, and now he's kind of. I saw his little coming out videos, kind of deflecting with mental health. Well, I heard certain things that he was bullying people like Claude. Rest in peace, Claude. I used to love watching Claude. Never got to meet him, unfortunately. But if you care about mental health, why are you bullying somebody like Claude that openly discussed mental health and was very brave in talking about mental health? Because a lot of men, we don't like talking about mental health. So now all of a sudden you got mental health and you want all this pity. Well, why didn't you have the same respect for your fellow human, for somebody else that when they were going through it? Doesn't really make any sense to me, but like I said, never met the guy. This is just from what I heard, and yeah, what I've heard about him. Don't really respect it, and it is what it is, man. I don't watch his channel. I'm not interested, and I'm sure he doesn't care about my channel nor me or my opinion. But that's it, guys. Anything you want to say about it?
I don't know my business, bro.
There you go.
Business, bro. Hey, bro. You know, we hear some of the Arsenal, bro. YouTubers, they can do what they want.
Chelsea turned into Burnley, not the good Burnley that kept the clean sheet. North side profiting off wins over losses. Man have no shame. Listen, views are down. Me and Diesel, we've got to come up with a new idea or something. I don't know. Maybe Fuad could be the face of our channels for a little while.
Nah, bro, do you know what? I think this fan base, I'll be honest with you, they go through emotionals. Bro, it's like I remember one time they were all coming at me. And then they're all coming at you. Then they come back. When we lose, they're all coming back at me. That's what they're like, bro. They're flip-floppers, bro. So
do you know what? It's funny, right? I've done streams, where even watch-alongs where Arsenal are winning, and then all of a sudden we go 2-3 goals down. And my views just go boom. Like honestly, like I'm literally live, and I can see like the numbers just because everyone's like, oh, Arsenal are losing or Arsenal have lost. Oh, let's see what Diesel's got to say about it. You know, but obviously because we're winning at the moment, and obviously we are notoriously Arteta outs. But you know what? Look, I've always said, I get the question, son, I don't know if you're getting this as well. I'm getting this every stream I do now. So have you changed your mind now? You Arteta in? And listen, I've always said, right, we've all, and that's me, I've heard you say it, Jez, all of us, we've all credited him, right, with what's going on so far this season. I don't think there's any shame in saying, let's see what he achieves at the end of this season, because let's just say, what worries me a little bit is this World Cup coming up, right? Because I do think at some point this league will start to resume normality, right? I think Liverpool will come back. I think, we're seeing some shocking results at the moment. A lot of the bottom teams are beating the top teams, but that always over the years, that tends to even out a little bit. This World Cup's coming up. We don't know very impossible to predict what happens once that's done. And obviously the Premier League resumes. My whole thing is just say, for example, right, Arsenal, for whatever reason, don't finish in the top 4, which can happen. I doubt it, but the way we're going, but let's just say, still a long way of the season to go. If they don't, then all of this has been for nothing. Right? So I then look at it and think, well, I'm not going to look back and think, oh, what an idiot I am. I've been praising this guy all season. And now look, because it can happen. There is still a part of me that thinks Arsenal over the years, I get excited, I get hype. And then somewhere along the line, these guys just let me down. And it brings me back into a slump. Right? At the moment, they're doing brilliantly. And even me, some games I'm like, oh, is this the week? Is this the week where the real Arsenal, is this the week? Is this the game? Is this the game? And it's not, they're shutting me up. Long may it continue. But my whole thing is I'm a the saying of, once bitten, twice shy, right? And I think that's where I'm coming from a little bit. But let's just see what they do in January, because for me, that will tell me the ambitions of the club. Yeah, they didn't do it last season. That cost us top 4. You'd hope we'd learn our lesson. If we don't do anything, that tells me that they're not interested in that. It's all about the money. Top 4, getting the revenue. They're not interested in being champions, or at least going for it, right? So
I look at it like this. Like Arsenal now is an Arsenal fan base, all right. Forget the Arteta out. I said that no. This is every Arsenal fan. Forget all that, because that's the thing. But I'm gonna say this, all right. Like the owners, the owners now have got to come out and to say to him, "What do you want?" That's what the owners got to say to him. It shouldn't be where Arteta should go. Yeah, obviously they're gonna have their meeting. It's professional and all that. They go in the boardroom and all that, because see Arsenal and like the big teams around Europe now are starting. Arsenal are just copied like what other teams are doing. Like if you have a look at the Champions League teams now, all their managers, like Bayern Munich, got a young manager. Juventus now are looking to get rid of Egri. They're looking for a young manager. Arsenal got a young manager. Barcelona got Xavi. All these big clubs now are going to start going in the same direction. Young manager, because the game is. I think the game is changing a little bit.
Yeah.
I think now the Kroenke's got a chance, thinking we're like forward to it, like we're top of the table. You got a 40-year-old manager. You can come out and make a statement saying, "Bam, you are Arteta. Try the league. Try and win us the league. Don't even say win it. Try it. And if he wins it, you win it with a young squad. You win it with a young manager, and then you're going off that to try and actually maintain it and stay top, because it's harder to stay there than get there. They say, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah. So if he's young, so you got a young manager, just won the league title with a young thing. You as owners, if you do that, there's not one Arsenal fan who come out and say, "You know what, Kroenke's, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You won us the title." Young team, your backers, and if they back him in the summer again, we've got to go for it again. Because
all I'm going to say to that is this: sometimes the old managers get moved on because their systems get found out. We know that football systems, they vary. We had the 4-4-2 that got sussed out. Then you had Mourinho coming in with this style that got washed out. So systems goes in cycles. So sometimes it's not always that, because it's all about young managers. Sometimes young managers are now learning a style of football that's outdoing the old tactics. Football always changes. That's why there's no one set way of playing football, one formation that stays dominant forever. And that is why someone like Sir Alex Ferguson is an anomaly. And even he made tweaks and differences to the way he played. So it's not so much about that. But one thing that remains in football is about winning. And now more than ever, managers don't have the amount of time that Wenger's and Fergie's had. So the one thing remains is football's a competition. It's about winning. And ultimately, a lot of teams are not going to allow you loads of time. I agree with you in the sense that the Chelsea model don't work anymore, where you get a manager in for 2 seasons and then he wins something, and then you get another manager and he's only in for 2 seasons, and then the manager that comes number 5 or 4 has a team built by different managers. That doesn't work, and I agree with that. But it's still a results business, and I think that ultimately, you are judged on your results, and if you don't do what needs to be done, and your job's on the line. I just want to answer this question here. Northside, be honest. What's your take? Is it an offense for an Arsenal fan to celebrate a win knowing that they won't win the league? No. Anyone can celebrate a win. We are Arsenal fans, whether you agree with the direction of the club or not. You're going to celebrate if you win. I celebrate all the time, and I don't think this manager. For me, I think this manager is Arsenal's Brendan Rodgers. I think he's the manager that will set us up for greater things. I think you had Brendan Rodgers, and then you had Klopp that came in and really cemented everything for Liverpool. And I don't think there's any shame for that. But I don't think he is the man for Arsenal, in my opinion. But I'm more than happy, like Diesel said, I agree once again. I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. I've come on stream today. Have I looked moody? Have I not been busting joke? You know what I mean? I even said me and Diesel are going to put out banners. So we are more than happy to be proven wrong if that means that our football team and our football club are going to win trophies. Now, To win a game is calm, but if you're going out now bantering other teams and other clubs, I'd say hold on, because at the end of the day, this ain't the first time that Arsenal in a campaign has been top of the league. This fast, okay, cool. This is the best start to a league that we've ever had in the Premier League. But at the same time, you know, for when Leicester won the league, we were top of the league in certain times in that season. And look at how that ended. So it's not just about, oh, we're top of the league now. Where are we going to end? Because like Diesel said again, and I agree again, that just because we're top of the league now, if we fall out of top four, I don't even say fall out of top four. If Arsenal don't get at least second this season with the drop-off of our rivals, it ain't going to be good enough, because we're going into January transfer window looking like we're going to be top of the league. That ain't good enough. So celebrate, be happy. I'm happy. Diesel's happy. We all celebrate. We're happy. But the calm and collectiveness is because we've seen coming up 19 years of this club not doing what needs to be done, and we always fall apart at the final hurdle at this club. Always. And that's where the caution comes from. It doesn't come because I want to be negative. I got people saying, oh, no, sir, why are you not complaining? I only complain if I see something. If I'm seeing Ben White playing well, I'll give him praise. If I see Xhaka playing well, if I see Mikel Arteta doing well, I will say it. Because I want them to be good. But if they're not good, or if they do something wrong, I'm going to criticize. Because just because I criticize doesn't mean I want to be right and I want this club to keep losing. I want them to win. And ultimately, what me and Diesel wanted, made the whole fan base happy. Who's saying it's negative now to want to go for the league? Who's saying it's negative to be in first place? So why is it that the fan base only want to accept this when we're in that position? But when we're trying to strive to get there, everyone's like it's negative. Well, now that we're top of the league, everyone's happy about it. So isn't wrong, because you're all happy about it now.
No, but it's the bad of it, isn't it? It's like you've got to understand, all right? Like, it's like when Arsenal used to lose, like when you talk about, look, we had like the Koscielny's in the middle. Like, he was a good player, you know, but then you had a player like who was right back then. Monroe actually was all right. Bakusanya was all right. But it's the people after that, like the Socrates, the Bellerines, and all these kind of players. I like the middle, like when you had the middles, like when Fabregas left, what did we have in there? You had like the players like Denilson and Nicholas Benton and all that. When it went on, like after Alexander Hleb's era and all that, Arsenal were like accepting defeats. You know, when we used to, like Diesel knows, when you're traveling back and you've lost like 4-1, you know, and Arsene Wenger comes out and he says, I didn't see it. Like your team just got battered by Chelsea 6-0. I didn't see it. You know, and that's why a lot of Arsenal fan base like myself, it started to hurt. Like, and then when Emery come, you still had that problem. So you thought, you know what? My thing was is get a young manager in, give him time, and let him fix the problem and see what he can do. Give him like 4 or 5 years even, because Arsenal needed this. Like you said, if say for instance Mikel Arteta wins the title and leaves, whoever comes in after him knows they got an established team, they got this squad, they're coming in with money, you know, they're coming in with a title, with a team with a winning mentality. When Arteta took over, we coming in, they didn't have no winning mentality. You had models, you had people worrying about themselves, like they were more worried about their cars and the fans, bro. Like I know people cry about like Aubameyang leaving and all that, but look where it is now. Look what it took us, because that mentality was in the changing room. Like they never fought the fans. These players, you can see when we beat Chelsea. Did you see the game, Diesel? They went over to the fans. Xhaka told he told one of the players, shut the F up, keep singing to the fans. Do you know what?
I've got to say, right? I said this, and I made a point of saying this, and if it was up to me and I was the manager, Xhaka would not be at this club anymore, right? For me, it was unforgivable what he did to the fans. However, you know, we're not the manager, so obviously Mikel he's still here. He's probably been the most improved player for me this season. What he did at the end of that Chelsea game with Kovacic and Chalobah, I love stuff like that, right? And I'm not. A lot of people knocked Xhaka for that. Xhaka, for me, what I like about this guy, he ain't no pussy, right? You can tell, we can hold his own.
Yeah, I know, bro.
And I will say this, right? I will say this. There was do you remember that season? This is where I've been really annoyed, and this is where my rage with Arsenal comes in, right? Mourinho was at Chelsea. Mourinho had a big spat with Arsene Wenger. I called him a specialist in failure, this, that, the other. And then a couple of weeks later, we go to Stamford Bridge. We lose 6-0.
6-0.
Right, we got smashed, right? And I remember seeing Ian Wright, an interview with Ian Wright, and he said, and I rake him right, when I was playing, if a Chelsea manager had said that, spoken to George Graham like that, trust me and the boys would have gone to Stamford Bridge and we would have fucking showed them what's what, yeah? And that's how I looked at it. I thought, do you know what? That those players, as much as I was on Wenger's case, his loyalty was what ultimately done him, right? Because to allow a manager to talk about your gaffer like that, and then you got a chance to obviously have his back when you go to the Bridge. You go then, you lose 6-0, you get a spanking like that. That showed me, do you know what? You're not playing for this guy, right? You've allowed this guy to speak bad about him, and you've got a chance to rectify that, and you go to Stamford Bridge and you get battered. Arsenal over the years have had that soft underbelly, and we've been called cowards, no cojones, and we get bullied in games. What I'm liking about Arsenal this season is the fact that, yes, we are playing good football, but if need be, we can mix it. We can mix it as well, right? And that's what I'm loving seeing. North side earlier on, listen, this is what bugs me about Arsenal fans. We're not wrong. All we've asked for is forget this youth. If you're going to buy young players, cool. But you need to sprinkle that with experience. It can't just all be young players. They've done that with Zinchenko and Jesus. Zinchenko the other day came out, and I thought this was absolutely, I don't know if you boys have seen it. This was brilliant. He said, Arsenal are too synonymous with top four. We want to get away from that. You think of Arsenal, you think top four. No, we want better than that. This is, and we've all, myself, Northside, you probably we've all said, youngsters is cool, that's fine. Obviously, you have to build for the future. I get that. What we need are players who are ready now. Players who can walk into the team now. Characters, leaders. We bought 2 of them, and look at the transformation, right? Jesus, yes, he's not scored in 9 games, but let's be honest, that guy does not stop working. Even when he's subbed off, I see him on a touchline, talking to the players, focus, come on, we got this. Zinchenko, these are winners. These have come from these are winners, right? I'm sorry, when you've got players like that, if we had another 3 or 4 more of players of that ilk, trust me, we're golden. Yeah? That's what we've been on about, myself, Northside. Get leaders in, characters, because these teams over the years have been soulless. We go, and this Aubameyang, don't even get me started on him, because I love Arteta for what he done there. And I know that's an unpopular opinion. I can't stand Aubameyang. Can't stand him. You don't do an advert like that. If you're going to do an advert, you come back it up. Yeah? He did nothing. I'm glad. And I told everyone on my stream, Arsenal fans are worried about this guy. He's going to come back and haunt us. This guy ain't doing nothing. He's finished. Finished. Do you know what I'm saying? Finished.
Finito. And the other thing, Tino, do you know what I like what you just said then? Shaka, that's why I keep saying most of this. This guy is Albanian. He got no praise. He don't care. You know that? It's bro. He said to the guy, "Give me the effing ball, bro. Shut the f up." Fans keep singing. And
listen. I've been praising him all season. My only thing is, you've been here 6 years, bruv. Where's this been? And listen, no Arsenal fan is going to say that because of how he's playing. My whole thing is, you've been here 6 years. Why is it only now you're starting to play like this? Where have you been for the last 5 years?
Last season, though, do you know what? To be honest with you, it just goes to show. Do you know what? Someone said to me on the when I was traveling when I went to the last Arsenal game. He goes, "It just goes to show. It just goes to show, really, like what Emery and Wenger didn't know what they were doing with Xhaka." Because last season, don't get me wrong, he had a good season last season. He wasn't the best, but he had an all right, decent season last season. So last season, he played quite well last season. But this season, I don't know what he's done with him, but Arteta's got Xhaka to play football.
Bro. As much as you're praising them,
it doesn't matter.
Why didn't they see to play him further forward? Because that's what this manager does.
What I'm saying.
And once again, props to Mikel Arteta.
He's been at the club.
He needs
props for that, bro. He's turned Xhaka from someone who everybody's thinking was shit. Well, actually, he's a good player now.
But let me ask you two something, and this is going to be really controversial. I just want to get your take on this, right? He said, I don't know why I think this, right? But there is a part of me, and I'm not hating on Mikel, but do you not think there's a part of me that thinks where we are at the moment and how we've been this season. Do you know? There's a part of me that thinks a lot of that is more down to Jesus and Zinchenko than Mikel. You know, I don't know. I just got to. They would have come and said, look, at Man City, what Pep used to do this, and Pep used to do that, and we used to do this, and we used to do that. And they've adopted that. And because for me, take these two out of the equation, right? Mentality don't change overnight. And we've had a poor mentality at this club. Right? You can't, what has Mikel done in the summer to turn us into mentality monsters, man?
Come on. The Arsenal police are going to come for you, bro.
I know, but do you get what I mean, though? Like, seriously, these two, I think we underestimate the effect that these two have had since they've come in. I really do. I'm sorry.
No, but that's what we need.
I could be. I just want to get into this super chat quickly because I've been put the super chat in. Captain's Corner, big up to you, bro, for the super chat. Very kind of you. You don't have to, but thank you very much. Big up the channel Northside. What do you think of Odegaard? I personally don't rate him. For me, Odegaard, I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. He's a player that shows up for only 45 minutes. He's a player that when we go up against the big boys, a lot of times he goes hiding. He's a player that is frustrating. He's a player that a lot of times he's in front of goal. He doesn't shoot. If he does shoot, sometimes he doesn't have enough sting. Sometimes he likes to just drift in and out of the game a bit like the Conga. Sometimes he's involved in the counter-attack. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes he plays a safe pass. Sometimes he doesn't give Gabriel Jesus enough support and doesn't create enough for him. And that is why a lot of times Gabriel Jesus has to drop in so deep because the number 10 behind him isn't providing the service, which is why he's dropping deep. Strikers only drop deep most of the time. There's one thing linking up play. You can link up play anywhere in the pitch. But if you're dropping so deep near your CDM, it's because you're not being provided with the chances and opportunities. And I think that is where Odegaard sometimes is poor. Sometimes he's good, especially against lower opposition. Odegaard looks fantastic. But when a lot of times when he's up against bigger opposition, he's very frustrating. And that isn't my only gripe with Odegaard. I just don't think I have not seen it yet, him putting in a full performance. And that's just the way that I feel about him. And it is what it is. Like I said, he's got time to prove me wrong. And I'm more than happy if he does want to prove me wrong. But listen, boys, before we wrap up, I want to ask you lot, I want to get onto this little bit. Mr. Good Evening is back. Good evening. Good evening. By beating Man United. Did any of you watch the game? Mr. Good Evening. And forward, keep the same energy, yeah, because you slag this guy off a lot and disrespected this guy, yeah? Mr. Good Evening is back.
The only guy, no. Listen, get your facts right. I've never slagged off Unai Emery. I've slagged off Conte. See, this is what I don't like about you. I slag off Conte. Emery, I used to like Emery.
No, you didn't. Every time I was giving him props, you were always slagging him off. And then you said, dead wood that Arteta took over. Yeah, but that dead wood, yeah, Unai Emery, with his limited English and good evening and a structure and a frustrated and we push it and try it, he still got them to fifth.
And if Arteta wins you the league title, you're going to be shutting your mouth. So shut your mouth and rub your guns. Yeah.
Salt.
I ain't shutting my mouth. Until that day comes, I ain't shutting my mouth.
Shut your mouth, boy. Nah, but you know what, bro? I gotta give it to Emery. You know what, bro? I give him credit when it's due. Man United, right? Man United have gone to Aston Villa for 27 years and beat them, and Emery happened, bro. That's mad, isn't it, bro? In his first game, he come and just said, "No, it's not happening on my shift, mate." So I got it. Emery's a good manager.
He's always forgetting Arteta worked with Pep, Jesus, and Zinchenko.
These like, okay, well, nah, but you know what? I leave on this note. I speak to a lot of people who are not Arsenal fans, innit? And like, obviously, obviously they're a bit older than me, like old school, innit? And they said, this kid, Arteta, they call him kids. These guys like in their 60s, and he said he's been under Guardiola and he's been under Wenger. So he said he is going to be a good manager. So. Yeah, so with Zinchenko being there and Jesus, they have helped a lot. Like you can't even they've implemented something to the players, I know Arteta, but by bringing him in, have done it.
No, but you can't be saying that though. That's wild. You saying that. Andres
What's
Villas-Boas was. Wait, hold on. Andres Villas-Boas was under Mourinho. Was he a good coach?
Mm.
How many coaches? Yeah, because Alex Ferguson used to change his background stuff all the time. His assistant coach all the time. How many of them became world-class managers?
Steve McLaren.
Yeah, but the difference between but the thing is, but
this is another thing they say, Diesel. Yeah, to prop this guy up.
But you're gonna call
bro.
No, but it's true though, isn't it? Why do you think he's doing so well for the 40-year-old? He's 40. You're not talking. You're talking about a guy who's 40.
No, but who's a better manager? And don't be biased. Who was a better manager, Fergie or Wenger?
You already know what time it is, bro.
So what are you talking to me about? Oh, because he's under who? But how many?
Yeah, but that's the whole idea.
You
could be under a wicked manager, but it doesn't mean you're listening to him. It's like when you got a good maths teacher, one of the best in the country, but you're a student and you choose not to listen. That's what.
No, you can be a good footballer. Doesn't mean that you're going to be a good manager.
It's only but the only.
I can use that back to you, bro.
No, but the majority of footballers, but the majority of footballers who are good managers, there's only 3 or 4 footballers who are actually top managers. Carlo Ancelotti was a good footballer. Conte was a good footballer. Zidane was a good footballer.
Wasn't a good footballer. Fergie wasn't a good footballer.
Exactly my point. Arteta wasn't the best footballer. He was an average footballer. So as I'm saying, but he's been under Arsene Wenger and Pep Guardiola. So that's
but then you could say like Roy Keane played under Sir Alex Ferguson, which is he's not. Steve Bruce, another one. Paul Ince. You know,
but this guy, if he wins the league age 40, there's got to be some credit there for the man.
Oh no, listen, look, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, and I always make a point of saying this, right? There are certain people who do have an agenda against Mikel Arteta. There are. There's a lot of Arteta routes who just do not like this man, no matter what this man does. And I've always made a point. I don't dislike Mikel. I don't rate him, and I didn't want him. I think he's very lucky to have got his first managerial job. He's got the Arsenal. When I look at other managers who have had to ply their trade and work their way up, you know, and for me that does annoy me a little bit because I've always said this, Fuad. Yes, he was number 2 to Pep. If he was number 2 to Sean Dyche at Burnley, would Arsenal fans have still wanted him? The answer is no. It's because he worked under Pep. The same Arsenal fans who coat off Pep and say, "Oh, he spends money, take money away from him, he'd be crap." But then you all praise Mikel because he worked under this man. So which is it? Is Pep good or not? You know, so it's for me, Pep is the best man. I love Pep. You know, this is a manager, he's all about perfection. The guy said there, yes, he's worked with Zinchenko, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's cool. He's worked with them. But now that he's got them at Arsenal, you can't tell me they've not come through the door and said, look, and they've said to Mikel, look, when we was at City, we did these things and we did that and we try this, try that. So, you know, Xhaka, he's had this guy, he's been here 6 years. Why is it only now he's trying him in another position? You know, so it's I personally believe it's probably input from these two. You know, and we've always said, you know, these two, you know, they're characters, they're leaders, but they're also winners. They bring with them that winning mentality. You know, you know, they're winners. They played under Pep, right? You can't coast in a game under Pep. If you do that, you're not playing again. You've got to be on point all the time. And this is what we've been, you know, crying out for, because we're not Burnley or Bournemouth. We're Arsenal. We're a big club. You know, youngsters, Project Youth, great. That's brilliant. But why not get players for now? And I've always made a point of saying, why keep going abroad? We've got gems in this league. We've got absolute gems in this league. Players who are Premier League proven, who can come into the side and do a job now. He's gone and done that. Got 2 of these players, and look at where we are. That's not a coincidence, Fuad. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not. You know.
I agree. I said it on one of my last lives. Diesel, you took the words out of my mouth. I said in January is not the time to be buying these foreign projects, bro, because they're not ready to go. Go buy it in the league, and there's plenty. There's Pedro Neto. there's Tielemans, there's Maddison, there's Ivan Toney. All these are playing for teams, with all due respect, that are not playing as Arsenal. And you're there talking about Arteta. You weren't there, you weren't there. You weren't part of the background stuff. For all we know, to my belief, Arteta was there putting out cones and bibs. You can't tell me he wasn't putting out cones and bibs because you wasn't there.
Yeah, we've got to learn somehow. All right, Mourinho was a translator.
Huh?
And your point is, Mourinho was called a translator before he got into football. He used to translate for Bobby Robson. Yeah. But Mourinho, when he went to Barcelona...
Do you know what he was doing?
He was a combo.
He was going to football games. He was going to football games. His career got cut short. He was going to football games and taking notes all the time about football games, studying the games, giving his notes to other Portuguese coaches, and they were getting the best out of their team. He was showing the ability that he could be the main guy. Your guy was putting out cons and
Mourinho was employed with them. Mourinho was employed by Barcelona when he had was it Bobby Robson?
Bobby Robson, yeah.
Yeah, as a translator, bro. And he used to pull out codes as a translator. So they got to start from somewhere.
But he didn't start there, is what I'm telling you. In Portugal, he wasn't doing that.
Yeah, but we know it's England over here. England, years ago, we used to know Mourinho is the translator. The coach is a translator. He was known as a translator. That is fact. I'm not making it up. You know yourself.
That's what. Do you know what though? I think we're in a generation now where we just automatically assume that top players automatically become top managers. Yeah. I look at Steven Gerrard and I think it's no coincidence. The minute he leaves, Aston Villa start turning up, right? Unai Emery, for me, I think he's... listen, I've always liked Emery. I think he's very underrated. I think he's a top coach. I thought we treated him disgusting. The players in training taking the mickey out of his accent.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And for me, and I used to have this battle with Terence on my stream all the time. I think when he was at Villarreal and they done the double over us in the Europa League, that was the moment where I generally thought these Emery haters would actually put their hands up and say, look, he's done us not once but twice. Fair play. He came back and beat the manager who replaced him. And even then, Emery never got the credit from a lot of Arsenal fans. Very hard to come in straight after Wenger. Any manager who comes in is going to have a hard job because obviously Wenger was an absolute figurehead at this club, right? To go at Villa and beat Man United 3-1, and yes, it's brilliant. Let's see what he does. But do you know what? Even after he beat us forward in the Europa League, if that was me, I'll be honest. If that was me, the kind of guy I am, I would have lauded that up, right, in front of the Arsenal fans. You thought I weren't good enough. Well, look, I've done and he didn't. He had class about him. He had class, even in his. Do you know what? And for me, that just shows to me that he's an absolute top man.
He's a gentleman.
Right?
He's a gentleman.
Top man. I'm sorry.
He's respectful. That's what. He didn't rub in his face.
He was.
Met him, bro. He went over, shook his hand, and walked. He said, "Listen, I got no time for this gibberish." He's a top manager, bro.
Telling you, I really do believe it.
I'll be honest.
Why do you disrespect him, bro? Talk about
peddling.
Now.
I have never in my life with him. You disrespect him. You guys, first thing I say, by saying good evening. You disrespect him.
I think good evening.
How dare you? How dare you?
You just said good evening now.
You disrespect him. Don't put your hatred onto me. That's what you got to do. See, listen, Andrew, I know you, right? I know you.
I know you, you know.
You know.
I see you, know.
Don't go anywhere.
Remember.
Don't go anywhere.
No, Diesel. He knows. You're my fishing rod. I beat you and you can't beat me in. You know that.
Boy, bro, the receipts are here. This is the beautiful thing about YouTube. The receipts are here. Don't go anywhere.
I don't do receipts,
don't go anywhere. Bro. Listen. It is what it is, people. Listen, we're going to get quickly into our predictions and we're going to wrap up. We already know. Listen, whenever I need forward for a show, when Arsenal get the win, the 3 points is always available. When shit goes sideways, this guy, bro, he's busy. He's in the recording studio. He's doing another one.
Bro, we've been winning this season. I haven't been busy.
WhatsApp. You know, Diesel, you know when you know someone's read the message, you got the blue tick thing. Yeah?
I've seen that enough. Trust me.
Diesel. We lost one game this season, all right? One game this season. and I was live with him, and that was the Man United game. And I went live. Me, him, and that Tony Claude guy. We went live, all right? Me, him, and Tony. I was live. But ever since then, we've been winning. I've had no text. If anything, he needs me for therapy, bro.
If there's been no text, how did you get on the show?
Peter,
I got to send you the link.
Peter, listen.
No, answer the question. How did you get on the show? Because I got to send you the link to be on the show. So how did they not text?
Exactly. No, but I'm saying we've been winning. You have
All
been
right,
texting
then.
me.
We move.
Do you know what? He's going back to be. Do you know what? No offside. You're going back to be Peter Barlow again. Behave yourself.
We'll go with Diesel first. Diesel, we got Brighton, if I'm correct, in the Carabao coming up. What's your score prediction? What do you think?
Man, listen, I've got to be honest. I'm not really fussed on they call it the carrier bag cup. We're at home. Interesting to see what he does. Look, for me, I just think we've got bigger fish to fry, if I'm honest with you. But we're at home. I think Brighton will probably. They probably will actually. I do think Mikel will play a slightly strong side. He'll throw in a few youngsters, but I think ultimately he will put a few of the first teamers in. I think score prediction, I'm going to go for a. See, they're in form. 2-1 Arsenal. Let me go 2-1.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even though they blitzed Chelsea.
Yeah, but it's all about it's the lineup. I think he's going to do though. I don't know.
I can't see even him playing a strong team.
You say they blitzed Chelsea, but then Brighton are in form as well. You know, like let's not forget Brighton played good football. You know, I think we may struggle against a team who actually played decent football. They won't sit back. They're coming to play ball. They're coming to and they can play ball. They can. Right? They're no mugs.
That's what I told you. Like, look at how they outplayed Chelsea. Like, I know it's Chelsea, but look at That's why I was like, "Are you sure? You think it's not
but it's all about the lot. I don't know. I don't know what if Brighton are going to sort of rest a few of their. I don't know. It's Carabao Cup. No one really takes this cup seriously. If I'm honest, it all depends on the lineup. If they play their strongest team, Brighton, and we do, albeit one or two youngsters, I think it'd probably be a lot closer. I think the only thing, because we're at home, if it was away, I'd be a bit more. Oh, Brighton could nick this. I think because we're at home, what Mikel will do is he'll panic. He'll have the first teamers on the bench. He'll chuck some of them on. And I think they might save it for us. So I'm going to go for a 2-1, but it won't be an easy 2-1.
And Wolves?
Wolves. Listen, we should do that 3-4-0, man, if I'm honest with you. I'm going to go 3-0. Wolves can't score. I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal.
Fair enough. Fuad, the results. What's your prediction? Arsenal, Brighton, and Arsenal versus Wolves?
I could see Brighton not playing a strong team. Arsenal playing an all right team. I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal against Brighton, and I'm going to go with Diesel score. 3-0 Wolves. Wolves, like earlier on, do you know when you said about the reason we can get players like Neto and Neves? It's the first time I think we can actually take advantage of it in January, because there's a reason why a manager's not going there, and the reason behind that is players are getting sold. Do you get me? I might be wrong, but I think if so.
Maybe a manager doesn't like the fact that they only deal with one football agent. I think that is not in the betterment of a club when you're only dealing with one agent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to sell you what he has to sell. Doesn't mean that's what you need. It's what he has to sell. He's getting his commission. I always found that was stupid. Like,
Lopetegui's going there, isn't he? After the World Cup, isn't he? Lopetegui's going there. So. But there are a few players you look at in that team. You think, I'd have him. But the way they're playing at the moment, they just can't. I just can't. Do you know what it is, Northside, as well? I look at Saliba and Gabriel at the back, and I just think, do you know what? I'm now looking at a defence and thinking it's going to take some doing trying to get through them. Even though Gabriel, he has the odd ricket. For me, it's more Saliba. This guy, I'm just loving. 21 years of age. Against Chelsea, this guy, he was my man of the match. He was absolutely brilliant. And I just look at Wolves and I think this is a team who struggle for goals anyway. right? I think with Arsenal, if we get the first goal, which I think we will, once we get the first goal, what tends to happen with Wolves is their heads go down, and it's literally. But Arsenal need to be more. This is my only criticism of Arsenal at the moment. They get the first goal, they sit back and they relax. No, be like a Man City. Get the first goal and go for the kill. Go for the throat. Suffocate this. 3-0 up at half time. Win the game. Just win it. Do you know what I'm saying? Don't score the first goal and think, we can relax now. No. Go for him.
I think because of the
What did I tell you about Saliba? What did I tell you about Saliba? What did I tell you last year about Saliba? Okay.
What I tell you about Ben White? What I tell you about Ben White?
And 0 for you, my friend.
What I tell you about Ben White?
Respect, my friend.
Respect Ben White.
Yeah.
What I tell you about Ben White? I told you about Ben White. Don't listen.
Are you talking about Ben White? You never told me he's better on the wing than he is as centre back.
Ben White is sick, bro. He can play anywhere. Defensive, centre back. He's sick. I told you about Ben White. And you know what? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you what. Hold this. In fact, when Ben White's on the team,
with your crusty toenail,
listen.
Don't point at me.
Ben White is not in the team,
bro. Don't be pointing at me, bro.
Let me tell you something. When Ben White, you can tell me everything, but I'm not going for a fact. When Ben White's not in the team, just remember this: your boy Sliver got put on his ass by PSV, by Javi. When Ben White's not in the team, he is not that boy. Ben White is solid, bro. That defense there. If you take Ben White out of that defense, Arsenal, you heard it from me first.
Who's the better
Arsenal
defender,
will crumble.
Ben White or Saliba?
They play as a unit.
Ben White's had to move because of Saliba. So let's have that right, yeah. Let's have that right, yeah. Right. Saliba was bought by Emery, not Mikel, yeah. So respect for Emery. Emery was the one who gave Martinelli his chance, not Arteta. So do you know what? For all these Emery haters out there, let's not forget what this guy has done, because he did put a few foundations in place for Mikel to. So I've always said that about Emery. Yeah, people piss on this guy, but you know what? He did put an emphasis on our youth. So these players who we see now thriving in this team, let's not forget who put him there in the first place. So that's all I would say about. And that's true. We forget that.
You know what?
Pochettino takes all the credit for Harry Kane. It was Tim Sherwood who put Harry Kane in that team. So, like, do you know what I mean? People forget things like that. So that's
even though this one,
I love Diesel, bro. Talking
but this is why. Listen,
your boy. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. Yeah.
This is why I credit Arteta, because Emery did the one Pepe. Emery did the one Pepe. He wanted Luis Saha, didn't it? Emery did the one Pepe. It was Pep. After he said, "Yo, this guy, previous managers don't want him, and I don't want him." See you later. But he kept the words like, "Man, I think what happens in football games, like you're not going to change your full 11. You're going to have someone who's going to fit your system. Martinelli suits out as a system. Saliba went out on loan, learned his trade, come back, bam, ready." Because if Saliba would have stayed, Saliba would have made mistakes last year. Maybe not you, Diesel, but let me tell you, there's a certain individual right next to me would have come down him like an avalanche, and that's North Side.
No, but you know what? I'll be honest, squad. I'll be honest. I've been calling for on my channel, Saliba. I personally think he was ready 2 years ago. I do. I really do. I'm sorry.
No, it's his trade.
Tell him, bro. Tell him, Diesel.
Diesel, his trade helped him. I'm telling you, this loan helped him. No,
I'm not saying it didn't.
You man say the Farmers League helped him.
And check this out. Look how good. Don't listen to this guy. Look how good. Look how good. Yeah, he's a Farmers League. Yeah, but look how good things playing now. What's his name for our left back in Marseille? Our left back doing this trade. The one everyone gives a hard time. No side's cousin.
Tavares.
Yeah, Tavares, he's playing well out there now. So he's doing this trade. And another one we got. There's a boy in the championship. He's the best right back in the championship.
Wait. Let me just debunk two things you just said, because that is crazy. Yeah? No, hold on.
And he's an Arsenal player.
No, don't go anywhere. Yeah? Your logic is, because he's performing in another league, yeah? Mkhitaryan, was smashing it in the Bundesliga. Comes here, wasn't good enough. I've seen Shevchenko.
But he went to Man United.
No.
Man United had him. You never come to Arsenal. You got knocked.
No. You can wait. You made that statement as if to say that's the measuring stick. It's not. Shevchenko, yeah, smashing it in Italy. He comes over here, he doesn't do nothing, bro. Lukaku looks world class in Serie A. Bring him back to the Premier League, and what does he do? So don't tell me that's the measuring stick. That league, yeah, most Arsenal fans and football fans in England say is a farmers' league. Don't be telling me, yeah, now all of a sudden it's amazing and look at what they're doing over there in League One, because that league gets disrespected and you know you don't rate it. So don't try it. And with the championship thing, don't even come with that argument either.
They're losing their trade.
No, don't go
That's
anywhere.
where the top,
Don't
bro.
go anywhere. No, hold on. Yeah.
No,
How many players? Yeah, even Mitrovic. He only come good for the Premier League now. He was too good for the championship.
But
Came up. Wasn't
it's
good
irrelevant
enough.
what you're telling me,
No,
though,
it's not. It's not.
You're wrong.
You're
I'm
making
top.
it-
I'm winning this
you're making
argument.
it seem- You're making it seem,
Everything I've said correct.
No. Because your statement
It's
is
facts, though.
misleading. Hold on, let me land.
It's
Your
facts.
statement is misleading because you're trying
How
to
am I
make it seem
misleading?
like,
I'm top of the
because you
table.
perform in League On, yeah, then you're definitely going to smash it in the Premier League. Oh, because you smash it in the Championship. How many players come from the Championship and ain't all that in the Premier League?
Can I ask you a question?
Which is why Forest have to go out and buy Premier League players or players near and thereabouts because their Championship players ain't
This
good
is
enough.
why fans like you,
Get out of here, man.
you know, fans like you will never
You listen
understand
to Twitter
football.
too much. That's the
Listen,
problem, bro. You need to
for
start
fans
thinking
like you
yourself.
as zilch, when it comes to football knowledge, fans like you as zilch, you got football on yourselves. The reason why they send them out on loan to people like Marseille, like Saliba, to learn their trade, because when they come back, they're coming back to a better club, to a better coach, and they're gonna improve. They've learned the basics. Now it's time to play with the big boys, and that's what's happened. And that's what's happened.
Okay, but that
And
logic,
that's what-
how many
and that's what
Chelsea
you don't
players?
understand.
How many Chelsea
I
players?
don't
got
care
on
about
loan?
Chelsea.
How many Chelsea players? They've been
Man,
doing
yo,
this since
you
they got
rate
money, yeah?
Potter, bro.
Hold
You-
on.
you're-
How many Chelsea players go out on loan and are doing good enough to play in the Premier League and stuff?
Chelsea's none of my business. Chelsea's none of my
No,
business.
but by your logic, because they're the kings.
No.
They're the kings at loaning out, yeah, to these inferior
None of my
teams
business.
and coming back. How many of them are good enough? Because I'm seeing Loftus-Cheek.
I don't watch
playing for
Chelsea. They're none of my
He's
business.
He's been
Chelsea's
out
none of
of
my
loan for how
business.
long?
It's irrelevant.
No,
It's none of my business. I don't
Yeah,
support
because you don't
them.
want
I
to
don't
answer because you
care.
know you're wrong. You don't want to answer
No,
because you
you're
know
not
you're
wrong.
wrong.
I'm
No,
talking
what do you mean?
facts.
It's using your logic that they're going up
It's
to these
using my
lower leagues, go
logic.
to the Championship, and they'll be ready for the Premier League. There's no given.
No,
There's no given that is
no,
the
of course
truth.
it is. It's facts.
No, it's not.
I've gone off my club. No,
Bro, you know
listen,
what? Yeah, I've
Chelsea
kept
is so
these
good.
here for long enough,
No.
bro. These
You're
are
talking
tired
about
of
Chelsea.
these players,
You're talking about Chelsea's Marshall. With that, Chelsea didn't even rate fucking De Bruyne. So what stupidness you're talking now? I don't rate Chelsea. So there we go. I'm not a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, but okay.
How
only
we gonna
use
make that
Chelsea,
same
but
mistake?
Hold on, but Arsenal didn't rate Gnabry, and now look at him. So what's your problem? What are you
Gnabry
talking
wanted
about?
to
That
go.
happens to every club.
Jeremy, Arsene Wenger, that was Arsene Wenger. That's not Arteta though.
But it's still Arsenal, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but Arteta, listen, let's go off facts. Arteta told this boy, go on loan and come back next season and you're going to be the gem. Arteta is the reason why where he is today.
Look at this comment. We're
Yeah,
going to
look,
wrap up. We're
He
gonna wrap
knows
up.
I'm out. You know what though? I would say, right, just to counter that, we bought Saliba from, if I remember rightly, Saint Etienne. When he was at Saint Etienne, his defensive partner, centre-back partner was Wesley Fofana. Wesley Fofana goes to Leicester. As soon as he gets there, I'm sure he was their player of the season. However, everyone said Saliba was a better centre-half than what Fofana was. So if Fofana can go to Leicester straight away and perform and be their player of the season, and Saliba's meant to be better than him, surely that would make him ready for Arsenal, right?
No, our fan base. They were supporting.
What you mean?
No, our fan base.
The
No.
blood clots.
Our fan base.
What do you mean without our fan base? Hold on. Yeah?
No, not our fan base.
Wait. That's my move. Look.
You get me, bro?
Hold on, forward. I don't rate Xhaka and I don't rate Ben White, yeah? Has my opinion stopped them performing this season?
Yeah, but why do you rate Ben White?
Okay, then let's wrap up this
But why
shit.
do you write Ben White? Why do you write Ben White? You got to come with the facts. Okay, I could turn around and say I don't rate Saliba, and it feels to me. Why do you rate Saliba? I say okay because when I went to watch him against when I watched him against PSV, Bang got undone. He looked like Mustafi got done inside out, got put on his ass. But I'm not going to do that because it's a one-off game. And the reason why I don't go off that one-off game is because our back line wasn't on the pitch. But when you put our back line on the pitch, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko, whoever wears.
But you're saying that now because Ben White's having a good season at right back, but when he was centre back, he weren't great.
No, he was good centre back, bro.
So I think when you spend 50 million on a centre half, that centre half has got to be able to defend, head the ball.
But you know what? Okay, this season, and I said last season, Gabriel makes a lot of mistakes like he did last season. This season, he made a few mistakes. But a lot of people, last year, Ben White was a target. He's a target player. So Gabriel made the mistake last week. You have people like Northside who got no brain, who can't see the game, who's like Stevie Wonder when it comes. Oh, I'm blaming Ben White.
Stevie, you know.
Stevie Wonder. I said, I used to tell Stevie there. I used to tell Stevie Wonder there, yo, that had nothing to do with him, bro. But and that's what happens. He's a player that everyone plays. But this season, Ben White, you take him. I'm telling you now, these are either from me first. If that boy gets injured, it's a big miss for Arsenal.
Now look. For what I said to you, I said earlier on, I said Ben White's been absolutely brilliant. I think what it is with Arsenal, right? If I'm honest with you, over the years, we never. If we need 6 or 7 players, Arsenal get 3 or 4. If we need to plug 3 holes in that team, we plug 1. So I think when it was Arsenal have never been a team to do to plug all the holes, right? They do 1 or 2 and they leave the 3, 4, and 5. So when we spent 50 million on Ben White, there was an argument to say, well, hang on a minute, that 50 million could have spent elsewhere because we've got a defender over there who's out on loan at the moment, who's actually a very good player who could come in and do a job. So if Saliba was here, we wouldn't have had to have spent that 50 million on Ben White, meaning we would have had 50 million to spend on other areas of the team that required immediate surgery, right? Brighton, when we offered 50 million, Brighton were like, oh, yeah, we'll take that. And I think that I don't know any other team who would have spent that amount of money on Ben White. This season, he's been absolutely brilliant at right back. Don't get me wrong, he's been brilliant. This season, he's been brilliant. But at the time when we got him, no one could have predicted what he was doing.
Let me tell you something. If Ben White, all right, wins the title with Arsenal, what's his price tag going to be?
Oh, no, I hear that. Same with Saka, Saliba, Gabriel. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so
I get it.
So for Ben White,
everything you say forward is ifs and buts. If
no, but it's not though.
What are you gonna say?
Ben White. All right, Ben White. Wait there. Ben White.
Bombshell, please, people, like and subscribe to Diesel. You know what I mean, my brother, and also like and subscribe to Prince Forward, bro. Luckily on this chat, he only talks about boxing. You know what I'm saying? Ben White, Diesel, not for coming on, man. This was only supposed to be an hour stream, but listen, man, I enjoyed it, man. I did.
Yeah, I'm joking, me.
I had to educate Stevie again, bro. You know.
Listen, Stevie's a legend, so that's cool. You keep calling me Stevie. You know
I called you Peter, bro. Peter Barlow, bro. You know already. Don't even go down there. Your name's Peter Barlow, mate.
That's all right. We've been called worse.
Listen, people, make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you go subscribe to Diesel. His link is in the title of the video. Make sure you go support my brother, man.
Appreciate it, man. Nice one. Thank you.
Listen, I ain't always able to get him on. He's a busy guy. Busy guy. You got anything coming up on the channel?
Mate, I'll take it day by day if I'm honest with you. I'm said to you earlier, I'm coming down with a bit of a cold. But yeah, I've got to stream more if I'm honest with you. You know, obviously Arsenal are in form at the moment, hence why the views are down. I need Arsenal to lose. I'm joking. But yeah, as what's today? Tuesday, isn't it? So yeah, I'll try and do something Thursday, Friday, or something. It's as and when, mate. It's as and when. It's work, and obviously, you know, being a co-parent, it just takes its toll. But I think I'm in that mindset. I think every time I do a stream, it's got to be 2 or 3 hours. And once I get going, I just chat for Britain, as I'm probably doing at this moment right now. So I'll shut up.
Nah, come on, man. Big up Diesel, man. People, make sure you go like and subscribe, support my brother. You know what I mean? And also support Big Six Fans Monts as well. That was last minute to get him on. And at least he helped us with the Tottenham segment. And we definitely will be cooking Deji next week on the Rival Show. Yeah. So don't worry, Deji. I know you're watching. Yeah. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry. Yeah. We'll do it. We'll do 2 for 1. We'll talk about this game because you think you're going to be running away, bro. It ain't happening, innit? It ain't happening. But listen, people, make sure you like and subscribe to Diesel. Also, I will not be doing watch-alongs anymore. I've just been spending way too much time. I do the watch-alongs. It can be sometimes almost, 3 hours, and then I'll do the watch, and then I'll do match reactions like 2 hours. So I'm only going to be doing match reactions. Somebody asked me about call-in show. I'm going to combine my match reaction with call-in. So I'll put the link out every time I do a match reaction after the game. And then anyone that wants to jump on, because I'm spending almost 5 hours sometimes live, with this flipping ring light doing my eyes. And even I'm looking at myself thinking I'm probably being a bit boring because my energy's going low. Like the ring light in your eyes for 5 hours, it takes its toll.
Watch-alongs are hard, don't they? They're hard. They're like 3 hours long, man. It's difficult, man. It's hard.
I'm not doing it anymore. I want to put my feet up, have a drink, play some flipping kizomba, play some whatever what I'm feeling, man. Some dembow, some Dominican stuff, some Caribbean stuff, whatever. Just chilling, like too much YouTube. Sometimes it's tiring. Like people don't realize, like it's tiring. Like you know what I mean. I can't do the stream like this. You know what I mean. I can't do the. If I could do the stream like that, it'd be a lot easier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It won't hurt my eyes so much. But listen, people, make sure you like and subscribe to Diesel. Link is in the title of this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to Prince Forward TV. Make sure you like the video. And listen, we're out.